Oh, can't you see? We're running out of time. You gotta lose your mind if you think you're doing fine. You can't describe it yet, but something is wrong. Where are your dreams now, and why don't you feel strong? Yeah, yeah. Every day, every night, you try to find yourself. Don't live your life as someone else.
Right, I haven't been able to do this, so I'm doing this for the upcoming Wrestling Matters podcast that I'm doing probably for Monday as well. Here's the deal. I'm going to be doing this. This is Wrestlemania Predictions. It's going to be in 2 parts, I assume. So, we have Wrestlemania Predictions, Part 1. Here we go. I have to do this quickly because I'm in the middle of, I'm getting ready to do something. So, first match that I'm going to do is the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin confronting Owens. Simple. Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to stun Kevin Owens and probably beat the crap out of him. Seth Rollins to face Mr. McMahon's opponent of his choosing. Please God, if Cody has signed with WWE, let it be Cody Rhodes. But apparently Shane McMahon is being brought back for WrestleMania weekend. And everybody thinks it's going to be Shane. And if it is, I swear to God, if Shane McMahon pops out on there and it's not Cody Rhodes, I will not watch that match. I'll tell you right now. And I'd be very lucky if I did. Rey Mysterio and Dominik versus Miz and Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio and Dominik. No doubt Logan and Miz will probably fall out or something like that. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Rich Holland. This was meant to be a 6-man tag, but with Big E's injury, it's not happening. And I'll probably go with Woods and Kofi Kingston on that one, but I won't be surprised if Sheamus and Rich Holland win. Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin. Drew McIntyre all the way. Who else? Let's go with the tag titles as well. Usos against Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm kind of hoping Nakamura wins the tag titles, to be honest with you. It'd be nice to see something like that happening, but I don't see it happening. I think the Usos will retain, but it is WrestleMania. The women's tag team title match as well. I will probably go with not Carmella. I will probably go. I'd like to see Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan win it, to be honest with you. If Natalya and Shayna Baszler win it, I won't be disappointed. Yeah, Zelina and Carmella need to lose, seriously. And one more, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn. I've got a funny feeling Johnny Knoxville's going to win that. To be honest with you. But anyway, that's part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Right, everybody, I'm going to have to do it this way for the part 2. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, because my phone is going to do Letty Tap again. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I've done all what I've needed to do. So, let's talk about them. So, we went through Kevin Owens getting stunned. God forbid it's Cody Rhodes that comes out with Seth Rollins and everything. And if that's the case, Cody wins. But from what I've heard, it might be The Undertaker. Rey Mysterio and Dominik will beat Miz and Logan Paul. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston will probably beat Sheamus and Rich Holland, although don't be surprised if Rich Holland and Sheamus win. Drew McIntyre will beat Corbin, no brainer. The Usos will retain, but I'm kind of hoping Nakamura ends up winning the tag titles with Rick. We'll see what happens on that. I'm kind of hoping Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan win the women's tag team titles as well. And but if Shayna and Natalya win, I won't be disappointed in that. RKO Bro will probably retain the World Tag Team titles of Raw as well. Pat McAfee will beat Austin Theory, no brainer. Sami Zayn, I'm got a funny feeling he's going to lose. Johnny Knoxville will win at WrestleMania. I've got a funny feeling that's going to happen. I won't be surprised if Sami wins, but yeah. Omos and Bobby Lashley. I think this might be Bobby Lashley winning this match. But one thing is for sure, this is going to be a big test for Omos as well. I'm looking forward to that match. I think AJ will beat Edge. To be honest with you, I really do think AJ will beat Edge, but I think that match will steal the show. And yeah, the big match itself, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Rousey will be our new SmackDown Women's Champion, and Bianca Belair will win the Raw Women's title, like she beat she actually won the SmackDown Women's title last year. And of course, the Undisputed Championship as well. WWE Championship versus the Universal title. I think Roman will lose. It has to end. This Tribal Chief thing has to end at some point. And he's had a tremendous run. He's been tremendous. But I think Brock will win Roman, get his revenge, and become the Undisputed Champion. There'll be something down the line for Roman when he'll end up getting it back or something like that. But the Tribal Chief thing has to end. This run has to end. At some point, this run has to end. So yeah, Brock wins that one. Right, thank you for that, ladies and gentlemen. Right, you've seen the predictions. Now we're going to review what happened last night. As I'm doing this, it's Monday. This will be coming out on Tuesday, guys, not on Monday, because it's been very hectic over the weekend with WrestleMania. But you're getting it this week. It might be just a day later than planned, but you're getting it. Right, here's the deal. WrestleMania, 2 nights, spectacular. It was tremendous. I thought it was a great WrestleMania. Not the best WrestleMania, but it was decent. It was good. It was good. We kicked off both nights, actually, with tag team matches, which was the SmackDown Tag Team titles and the Raw Tag Team titles. I actually thought the Raw Tag Team title match was better than the SmackDown Tag Team title match. The Usos, pretty obvious, really, isn't it? It's pretty obvious. I mean, even though I was hoping that Nakamura and Boogs would win the tag titles, but it was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Let's be honest. The Usos win the tag titles. Pretty obvious. And the Raw Tag Team Championship was good as well. As a matter of fact, like I say, I think the Raw Tag Team title match was pretty better than the SmackDown one. Great match back and forth in that matchup. Also, the ultimate highlight of that match was a springboard RKO from Matt Riddle that even impressed the Master himself. And he even said in an exclusive interview back behind the scenes that not even he could attempt that. Not even he could do that. So I think Mr. Riddle has won up Mr. Orton on the RKO thing, if you know what I mean. I mean, RKO has been from everywhere that Orton can think of. Never been from a springboard. Well, I think Mr. Riddle's just played a game of one-upmanship, but Randy got his RKO in as well. Obviously, Chad Gable jumped into an RKO. Obviously, he didn't do his research. And RKO Bro won the tag titles. RKO Bro won the tag titles still. And still our Raw Tag Team Champions. And I thought that was better than the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin, pretty obvious. Drew McIntyre was going to win that. That was going to get his revenge. Corbin did well. But yeah, Drew McIntyre got his revenge on Corbin as well. And I don't know about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is just me. I don't know about this. He might have gone into a little bit of hot water with Vince McMahon. Because it was the second match on the card. And Madcap tried to come in and attack him from behind, but McIntyre saw him. And he stuck the sword and he went and chopped the top and middle rope in half. I'm not even kidding you. Scared the crap out of Madcap Moss, but he chopped the top and middle rope in half. So I don't think that got him in a little bit of hot water with Vince, but we'll see. Miz and Logan Paul beat the Mysterios, and then Miz turned on Paul. What the hell that was about, I don't know. Has Miz turned babyface? It looked like he got a babyface reaction. yeah, I don't know. I really don't know where that one's gone. I don't know why that happened, but anyway. I mean, it's not the first time Paul's been attacked. I mean, last year he got a stunner from Kevin Owens. So, yeah, you can think about how that went down. Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch. It was a great match. And for 2 years in a row, she's won both titles at WrestleMania. She won the SmackDown title last year, beating Sasha Banks. And she won the Raw Women's title this year by beating Becky Lynch as well. So, hey. So nice she did it twice. So, hey, credit to her. And she got a nice little shiner in the match as well. As you saw on social media, her eyes closed. Because I think Becky went for the Molly go round. And it was a botch. It didn't look right. Didn't look well. And as that happened, Becky's heel caught Bianca right in the eye. Hence the black eye thing. So, she's still the women's champion, but was what it was. I'm going to go to the KO show, because the KO show, which was the main event, which shouldn't have happened to be the main event, but turned into a match, because Kevin Owens challenged Austin to a no-holds-barred match, and we got Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, like it was planned, and Stone Cold wins the match. So, and then he was just Austin, wasn't he, basically. The semi-main event was Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair won the match, but I can't help but feel Ronda Rousey got screwed a little bit. And Rousey was not happy with the fact that this match was not the main event. This match probably should have been the main event of WrestleMania. And then maybe the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin thing, semi-main event. Because apparently she walked out of Hall of Fame when she realised, or when she got word that her match was not main event at WrestleMania of night one. So, I don't know where Rousey stands on that one. Maybe the whole plan of her coming back may very well end before long. I don't know. But the highlight of the night, of night one at least, was Seth Rollins versus his mystery opponent, and you all got what you wanted, and everybody got what they wanted, because it was Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Wrestling has more than one royal family, Cody Rhodes. Not Stardust, not dashing Cody Rhodes. We got the Cody Rhodes we wanted. So, obviously they're going with that, which is tremendous. And now he's back in WWE. He needs to be WWE champion. Okay? If you're going to put the US title on him, fair enough. If you're going to put the Intercontinental Championship, if you move him to SmackDown, no problem. But he needs to be world champion. This is the role he needs to do. He needs to be WWE champion. He needs to be Universal champion. Hell, he needs to be both champions. Who the fuck cares? But he needs to be champion. That's the belt he needs to be. Otherwise, there's no point in bringing him back. But I'm glad he's back. And it was a holy shit moment, because that's exactly what I said when Cody came back. And Cody and Seth stole the show, and Cody ended up winning the match. So, hey. It's just great, man. And the thing I accept about this is the fact that he's the American Nightmare, Cody was. Because I read on the dirt sheet, part of the deal for him to come back to WWE was he never have to put up with freaking Stardust. No more Stardust. So, so that means if you're all expecting him to be Stardust and everything like that, no. Because according to the contract, according to the dirt sheet that I read, he ain't Stardust no more. So, there'll be no Stardust. It's going to be this Cody Rhodes that we see, and thank the Lord on that. Yeah, so night one ended tremendously. Night two kicked off with the Raw Tag Team title match, but before that Raw Tag Team title match, we got a visit from Triple H, formally retiring and leaving his boots in the WrestleMania ring. So, yeah. He announced it on the show during the interval, and, well, that was his formal announcement that there'll be no more Triple H in the WWE ring. Maybe behind the scenes, but not in the WWE ring. So yeah, Randy Orton, we've already discussed. RKO Bro won the tag titles, are still World Tag Team Champions. Bobby Lashley beats Omos. And yeah, I don't know what to make of that one, but that's a huge win for Bobby Lashley. And that's going to put him back in the title picture for sure. So I don't know what to make of that one, but it was definitely a test for Omos, but it was a losing effort though. So I don't know where Omos goes on that one, but I know Lashley will be wanting his WWE title back. You know, will we see Lashley versus Reigns for the undisputed title? More on that later. Yes, Roman Reigns is now your undisputed champion, but I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, Johnny Knoxville beats Sami Zayn in an anything goes match, and you know what? I actually like this match. This was probably the match everybody was thinking, oh, this is going to stink the fucking joint out and everything. But this was actually great. This was actually a great match. This was a fun match. And Knoxville got the victory and beat Sami Zayn as well. I don't know why they didn't make this for the Intercontinental Championship, to be honest with you. But anyway, maybe that was just to add to the story, but I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was great. That didn't stink. I don't think there was a bad match on the card. There was a few not so great matches on the WrestleMania shows, but I don't think there was a bad match. There was not like saying, "Oh, that was the worst match on WrestleMania. That was the worst match in history," or anything like that. They were all fun, entertaining matches on this show. Sasha Banks and Naomi win the World Tag Team titles, the Women's World Tag Team titles, as well. And yes, finally Sasha gets a win at WrestleMania. Because up until that point, she was 0-8, I believe, at WrestleMania. But she finally gets a win, and not only that, she wins the World Tag Team titles with Naomi. And what's his name? Corey Graves had a headache because apparently the paycheck that they were going to get that if Carmella and Queen Zelina retained was going to go to the honeymoon, but not to be. So I would imagine if the honeymoon's still on with Corey and Carmella, I would imagine Corey's going to have a migraine. So there you go. Another great match on the card. Not the best match on WrestleMania, but it lived up to his expectations. Edge and AJ Styles, but I don't know where it's going to go with the ending, but Edge won the match thanks to a distraction from Damian Priest, former United States champion. A guy who probably should have been on the card anyway, wrestling Finn Balor. But the best thing he had to do was compete in the Andrew the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown. Fucking hell. Anyway, great match, but I don't know what the ending was. I guess we'll find out this week more on that. Sheamus and Reg Harland beat Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Pat McAfee had two matches at WrestleMania. He beat Austin Theory, and then he lost to Vince McMahon afterwards with a little help from Austin Theory. And afterwards, Stone Cold came out and stunned all three. And McMahon was probably the worst stunner of all time. Even worse than his wife Linda got before. You all remember that? Raw Homecoming? That was probably worse than Linda. So now Linda can look at that thinking, I haven't got the worst stunner award no more now. Or I haven't took the stunner in the worst way no more. That now goes to Vince. 70-year-old, but come on. Anyway. And Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. However, from what I saw at the end, it might not last. Because apparently, according to the dirt sheets, Reigns is injured. He's got a bad arm. That Kimura lock, I think, ripped the arm out of the socket of Reigns. The Kimura lock that Brock Lesnar got on. And that's why they ended up finishing the match early. Because I think Roman was legitimately injured. And then motivation from Heyman, got up, spear, 1, 2, 3, Universal Champion. But I think there was more to that ending than mostly. Because I think Roman is legit injured. Will he have to forfeit the championship? Who knows? But as we know it right now, the Tribal Chief still lives on, ladies and gentlemen. All in all, a great WrestleMania. Not the best WrestleMania, but it wasn't the worst WrestleMania. I thought it was a great WrestleMania. And like I said, there wasn't a bad match on the card, in my opinion. And I will give that 8 out of 10, the WrestleMania. I genuinely would. There was not a bad match on the card, in my view. There was not a match that says, oh, that was the worst match I've ever seen, or anything like that. They're all good. Few great, few good. You know, they like it that way, don't they? But anyway, guys, that about wraps it up for WrestleMania. Let me know what you thought about WrestleMania in the comments, whether you're watching this on Facebook or whether you're watching this on YouTube. I'll be back again next week with another episode of the podcast. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I'll figure it out during the week, and I'll see you back here next week for another installment of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Thank you all. Tune in to my Twitch, twitch.tv/GamesMatter_ this week as well. I'm going to be streaming as I'm doing this. I might be online right now as I'm doing this. 6 o'clock GMT Tuesday, 8 p.m. GMT, 6 p.m. GMT Tuesday, 8 p.m. GMT on Thursday. GMW is back this Thursday. Yes. So until then, guys, back here on the podcast next week. Until then, I will see you then. Peace.
Can't you see we're running